We're in Straven, and this is apparently where some of my ancestors left 150 years ago and moved all the way across the world to a place called Dunedin in New Zealand's South Island. And not just Dunedin, but they moved on to a small village called Milton. And I'm here in Straven to try and find out why they left. This is the cemetery, which is at the top of the town, literally. It's on a fairly substantial hill in the middle of the town. And this is the war memorial. There's a couple of names on here. Lindsay, which is a family name. My brother is actually named after that branch of the family. And this is the World War II memorial. They were in the Highland Light Infantry and the Royal Air Force. You can get quite a good vista of the town here. So you can see that's a smallish town. There's wind turbines on the horizon in most directions. Over there on the hillside, obscured by the clouds, and definitely on that hillside over there. We have had a look through the cemetery briefly, but it's quite large, and so we haven't managed to find any family graves. Our last known living relative was Elsie Morris. And behind me you can see the castle and Sally's Arms. But unfortunately perhaps fortunately, it's not a tourist trap because it's all firmly locked up and you can't actually get in. We've walked right around it. Interestingly, it seems that handloom weaving was a major industry in the village during the 19th century, but towards the end of the 19th century, that industry was overtaken by power looms in nearby Glasgow, and that may possibly have been a factor in an economic downturn, which would have encouraged people to leave and go to the other side of the world. Straven is actually a nice little village, and we've just been to a cafe where the owner spoke to us with a heavy Scottish accent that we could barely understand. And there's a castle, and this is a lovely little laneway leading down to some of the shops in the town. And we've actually lost where we've parked our car, so we're just walking around aimlessly looking for a Saab convertible. Yes, we recognise that church steeple. That's near where we parked the car. So we'll go down beside this little creek and find the car there. Okay, we think we've found the car, but on the way we've found a real estate shop. And so we've just had a look at some of the prices in the windows here. It's not terribly cheap. So, yes, I'm not sure what property values are like in Milton, but it sounds like no one would have been worse off by staying in property here. As you can see, we've found the car, which is surprisingly not difficult in a town the size of Straven.
I know, in a traffic jam.
And we've now discovered that there's a traffic jam right beside us. I should point out that this scarf is a souvenir from Straven. We bought it in an op shop because even though it's pretty much the middle of summer, it's actually pretty cold.
Show me, please. I'm wearing a t-shirt and just a light cardigan because it's actually really not cold at all. That's it.
I'm wearing 3 layers and a scarf. My ancestors were all Presbyterian, at least by the time they arrived in New Zealand. But interestingly, there's actually no Presbyterian church in Straven. This spire behind me used to be the Presbyterian church, but it's now been converted into an Airbnb. Got 12 little apartments in it. That's a very canny sort of thing to do with an old church that presumably wasn't being used. We finally realised why my ancestors left Straven all those years ago. This is the Artisan Bakery, founded in 1820, so it would have been where people got their baked goods back in the 19th century. And this is an example. Sally is eating an almond croissant.
It's pretty good, but I don't think they would have had it back then.
Invented in France, and no doubt later introduction.
Good.
I'm having a lamb and mince pie, and like pretty well every pie in the UK, it's disappointing. And yeah, there is nothing here that I've found that's similar to the beautiful meat pies that you would get in New Zealand. I think this is why people left here 150 years ago.